My mom packed me lunch every day growing up. It wasn't until I had a child of my own that I realized she never packed one for herself. When I was 7, mornings felt rushed and quiet. The sky was still dark, the kitchen light yellow and soft. My mom would be up before sunrise, always quiet, always tired. She moved like clockwork, hair tied back, uniform smelling faintly of detergent and cheap perfume. She worked the morning shift at the bottling plant. It didn't pay well, but it paid enough. Every morning, she packed 2 brown paper bags. One she set gently into my backpack. The other, she tucked into her large, worn-out purse. She always handed mine to me with a smile and said, "Eat it all. You need your energy." Then she'd kiss the top of my head and rush out the door. As a kid, I never questioned where hers went, or if she had time to eat. I just assumed she took care of herself, the way moms always seem to. I remember my lunches being humble, peanut butter and jelly, sometimes tuna, an apple cut into slices wrapped in plastic. Once in a while, there'd be a cookie or leftover dumplings. Nothing fancy, nothing with a label. As I got older, I started to notice things. How my lunches were smaller than the other kids. How my sandwich was plain, while theirs had deli meat and snacks. In comparison, even in small doses, can erode gratitude. I started resenting her for it. By the time I was 13, I started to push back. I told her that her lunches were embarrassing, that everyone else had cooler food, that I wanted money instead. I thought she was being cheap. One day in high school, I even said, "Why can't you ever pack me something normal like everyone else?" She didn't say anything, just nodded and said, "Sorry, baby. I'll try." But the lunches stayed the same, because our lives stayed the same, because she couldn't afford different. Still, she kept packing them, every single morning, without fail, even when I left them untouched in my locker, even when I threw some away. College came. I moved out and started working. Life got busy. She cried, quietly, like always. I didn't take any lunch bags with me. I figured I was done with them, done needing her help, until I had a daughter of my own. It's strange how parenting makes you remember the things you forgot. I started making her lunch every morning. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich, apples, a cookie. Some mornings, I'd forget to eat myself. Some days, when money was tight, I just skipped mine. Or I'd skip on purpose, just to save what we had for her. But I'd still make 2 lunches, one for her and one for me, though mine was often empty. And then one morning, while sealing up a plastic baggie of crackers, I remembered my mother's hands doing the same. Tired, still, quiet. I remembered her paper bag, the one I never saw her eat from. I would say to my daughter, "Eat it all. You need your energy." And that's when it hit me. I called her that weekend. "Mom, did you ever eat the lunches you packed for yourself when I was little?" There was a pause, then a soft laugh. "I always packed one, but I never packed anything in it. Didn't want you to feel bad, that's all." And suddenly, I could see it, her sitting in the employee break room, surrounded by clinking lunch boxes and foil wrappers, sipping water, smiling, pretending she wasn't hungry, just so her daughter wouldn't feel less or worse, feel like a burden. "You needed to eat more than I did," she added. That's just how it was. It was the first time I realized love doesn't always say, "I love you." Sometimes it just goes hungry. I stood there, stunned. That night, I cried into my pillow, not because I was sad, but because I had been so blind for so long. She didn't want me to know. She didn't want to burden me with guilt, so she faked having lunch every day, so her child could eat without shame. And I thought she was being cheap. Turns out, she was being generous in the way only mothers know how, by giving, even when there's nothing left to give. There are kinds of love so quiet. They go unnoticed until years later. Love that hides in the shadows, in empty lunch bags, in sacrifices that were never supposed to be seen. So if someone ever made you feel full while they stayed empty, that was love, the kind that leaves you fed, even when they weren't.